I'm here because I am a roaring lion crying out righteousness. Trump's been flying around. He was in Council Bluff, I think it was on Monday night, Iowa. Flew into New York City, probably sleeps on his plane because he's got a bedroom there. And flew into New York City, drove into New York City to the courtroom on yesterday, sat in the courtroom for a couple of hours, and then took off for New Hampshire, where he spoke at Atkinson, New Hampshire, on yesterday. And now he's back down in court, back down in New York, so he's flying around quite a bit, with all of this trial business going on. And he made a statement at his victory speech on this past Monday night that caused me to wonder, well, what's going on with Trump? I've not seen him quite in this sort of I wouldn't say jovial or even spirit with him. It's hard to exact what kind of definition best fits his character. But one of the things that that caught my attention was he kept talking about some state senator from Missouri, and he kept talking about how handsome the man was. So I'm going to have this Trump gay? I mean, listen, doggone, everybody else seems to be that way. Is Trump gay? He kept talking about how good-looking this man was. He said it more than once. So it caused, the good pastor man to say, what on earth is going on now? Because I'm looking at everything, here. But so I'm going to let you listen to this video clip of Trump talking about whoever this fellow was. I don't even know his name, but I know Trump was talking about him. So I want to raise the question here today, is Donald John Tribulation Trump gay? Maybe he is. Roll that clip, Mr. Engineer.
Another man who was actually the first person to endorse me in the entire country. He's a state senator. His name is Brad Zahn. He looks like he's the most handsome guy, I think.
Whoa. Most handsome guy. Come on now, Trump. Now we can tolerate, I can tolerate you being a liar. I can tolerate you being a sexual assault fiend. I can even tolerate you being a cokehead. I can tolerate you being a schemer, an artist, a con man, don't pay your bills. I can con you to being the servant of Satan. But gay? I don't know if I can go down that road, Trump. I don't know if the evangelicals go. Mr. Indian, could you back that up just a second? Because, he said it more than once, quite frankly. But I don't know, Trump, if I can go down. I don't know if the evangelicals are going to go down that road with you, Trump. They don't mind you being all the other things I just said a few moments ago. Roll it again. Listen, y'all listen very carefully now to Trump.
And who was actually the first person to endorse me in the entire country. He's a state senator. His name is Brad Zahn. He looks like he's the most handsome guy, I think. Oh, you made it. He had to drive from his caucus location. You made it. I call him the Marlboro Man. Hey, Brad. You want to say something? Come on, go up. Say something.
Well, I'll tell you, I had to actually do a TV interview bragging about you. The reason why I was late is because of that, but is he awesome or what?
Wait a minute now. Hold the phone. Are these two getting it on right here in public? I mean, first of all, I don't think the guy's so handsome. I mean, what it looks like they call Trump the Orange Jesus, right? But Trump likes this guy. I never heard Trump say anything. Only other people I heard Trump say was good looking was his daughter Ivanka, right? But now he likes this guy. And both of them passing, accolades back and forth with one another. And by the way, I am not doing this because I'm trying to be indifferent towards Trump. Or funny for that matter. Now, years ago, when you said you were funny, they didn't mean you were comical. They meant that you didn't adhere to God's principle of male and female. You adhere to male. That's when you were funny. So I'm not trying to be comical here. Go ahead, Mr. Let's see what else got to say.
I am honored to be the first person in the United States to endorse this guy. The next president, the 47th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
And when he says endorse, we're really talking about 2015. He endorsed me before, actually, long before I knew I was going to run. I said, who's this man in Iowa? He's a senator, a state senator. He's a good-looking guy, too. Doesn't he look? You could pay him and give him a lot of money.
The good-looking business. I mean, you know, this is uncommon for Trump. I've never heard him go down that road before. And so maybe something's going on that we don't know. You know, Trump is the trigger of the tribulation. Let me just say a couple of things also about this win out there in Iowa the other night. In the year 2016 rather, when Trump ran against Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, a couple other people on the ticket out there, Trump lost Iowa. He lost to Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz won the evangelical vote. And it was reported that the number of people that actually caucused in the 2016 caucus in Iowa were 187,000 people. Now, the state of Iowa has a total of 750,000 people live in the state of Iowa, right? Small state, small people. I've been to Des Moines several times. I've been on Interstate 35 several times. I've stayed in Iowa. You know, Elizabeth and I, we traveling. So 185,000 people showed up for the Republican caucus. This time it was bone-chilling cold out there. Temperatures in the minus 30-degree wind chill effect. And ice on the road from a big snowstorm they'd had previously. So it was understood and estimated that probably a lot of the people were not going to show up. They just weren't going to take the chance. And maybe in the big cities around Des Moines and Ames and other places in Iowa, they were able to get out because the roads were clear. But in the rural areas, there was nothing happening. So in my estimation, I don't know whether you're going to go along with this or not, but in my estimation, Trump's win was not as big as some would think that it was. Nikki Haley came in at 21, I think. Ron DeSantis, Ron DeSantimonious won 21.2% of the votes. Trump won 51%. Nikki Haley won 19.1% of the votes. And Vivek Ramaswamy, boy, needs a new name. I'd probably vote for him to be president if he'd ever changed his name so I could pronounce it. No, I wouldn't. But anyway, he came with 7.7%. And Asa Hutchinson came with 0.1%. But I don't think it was such a big win out there for Trump the other night. I don't think. I mean, only 115,000 people voted. That's 62,000 people less than, or 77,000 people less, 62,000 people less than voted. And understandably why, because of the bad weather, the cold temperatures. But I don't think it was such a big win. And the other thing is that Trump is not a conservative, and I'm going to rerun a piece on that a little bit later on after my first break. But one of the things that the world seems to continue to ignore, and Almighty God has stated that they will ignore, because if they did acknowledge that we're in the tribulation and that Trump was the trigger of the tribulation, the world would all of a sudden repent. Everybody would be on their knees sacrificing and, doing like the Catholics do, doing penance and everything else, trying to get right with God. If the world knew, if the world acknowledged that we're in the tribulation, but we are. And Trump is making his second round to be the president of the United States. A lot of people in the polls are saying he's going to beat Biden by time Joe Biden, who a lot of people just think he's old as washing powder and that he's out of date. And actually, a lot of people are upset with both Trump and Joe Biden, just two old white men. And they ought to just get off the scene. A lot of people are saying, I didn't say that, but that's what a lot of people are saying. I'm just reporting what I heard people say. At any rate, Trump is not. Trump is Trump is a servant of Satan. Now, people necessarily don't want to. I don't think there's anybody in America, evangelical, MAGA, anybody else. I don't think there's anybody. I've seen what people have said on these news broadcasts about Trump, that the election was stolen. I think nearly everybody who votes for Trump, everybody who's voting for him and supporting him or not, no, that's a lie from the pit of hell. The election wasn't stolen. And my thing is just here. My logic says to me, I'm Mr. Logical, right? My logic says to me, listen, if Joe Biden, my time, with his old, crinkled, walking like he's got a corncob self, if Joe Biden and Camelback ain't Black Harris and a bunch of other, what's that woman named Ocasio-Cortez, whatever, Lord have mercy. if they were able to steal if the deep state, here's my thing, right? Because all these people running around, Trump said they stole the election. I won at Fan Square, but they stole it. The deep state stole it. They stole it. It's okay. But my thing is this, is that, I mean, if Joe Biden was able to steal something from a con artist, like Trump, then don't put him back in office again because somebody will steal it from him again. Let me tell you something. My logic says this to all these people running around here. We're going to vote for Trump. He lost it. He didn't lose. It was stolen from him. Well, let me say something to you, homie. If Joe Biden was smart enough to steal the election from Trump back in 2020? He's going to steal it again. What you going to do to stop it? And besides, how do you let old Joe Biden roll up on Trump and steal the election while he was yet president? It don't make no sense. It's the most illogical, Dr. Spock. It's the most illogical thing I've ever heard of in my life. I'm moving to another planet. First I said I was moving back to Africa. No, I'm not going to do that. But I'm moving to another planet. Why? Because, what is wrong with the world? Trump has been, every time he opens that mouth of his, which looks like, every time he opens that mouth, he says the election was stolen. Well, my thing is this, is that you let him steal it. You let Joe Biden beat you, man. You let Joe Biden steal the election from you. Why should we trust you with the presidency again? Listen, Kim Jong-un might be president after you become president. Steal it from you and tell everybody Kim Jong-un starts speaking English. My logic says to me that these people running around here talking about the election was stolen for Trump got to be some of the dumbest people I've ever heard of. But they're not. They're not dumb. These MAGA people who are talking about Trump, the election was stolen they're not dumb. Because they know the election wasn't stolen. They ain't crazy. They're not dumb. They know, just like you and I know, the election wasn't stolen from Trump, Mr. Orange Jesus. They know it wasn't stolen from him. He lost. And he's going to lose again. That's all he's been doing since he came down the escalator. He won that one election over Hillary Clinton, and he'd been losing ever since. And, people know that Trump, the problem is that when I got started out on this tirade of his just a second ago, was that the people refuse to acknowledge that we're in the tribulation and that Trump is the trigger of the tribulation. They refuse to acknowledge it. The other thing is that Trump is not evangelical. I'll get to that in just a moment. But I have one final thing I want to say to you. Well, I'll do that a little bit later. So I wrap this up by saying, is Trump gay? And you never know. You never know.